Energy, and Dave Connolly from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for updates on their work. But first, we'll turn this over to County Manager Avril Pinder.
Thanks. Good morning. I have several updates for you this morning. A new community care station has opened at 980 Boulevard Road at the old Kmart, the new at-home store facility. These stations provide showers, laundry, bathrooms, access to cell towers, Wi-Fi, potable and non-potable water, and counseling. Other stations include the Swananoa Ingalls, AC Reynolds High School, and Morgan Hill Baptist Church at 594 Barnersville Highway. Early voting starts Thursday and will be every day, including weekends, through November 1st. The hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you need an ID to vote, please go to our elections office at 59 Woodfin Place to get an ID. It takes about 10 minutes. Early voting locations are the Black Mountain Library at 105 North Dougherty Street in Black Mountain, East Asheville Library, 3 Avon Road in Asheville, Anchor Candler Library, 1404 Sand Hill Road in Candler, Fairview Library, 1 Taylor Road in Fairview, Lester Community Center, 2979 New Lester Highway, South Buncombe Library, 260 Overlook Road in Asheville, UNCA Health and Counseling Center, 118 WT Weaver Boulevard. This is a new location, so be mindful. UNCA Health and Counseling Center, that's on 118 WT Weaver Boulevard. Weaverville Community Center, 60 Lakeshore Drive. Dr. Wesley Grant Southside Center, 285 Livingston Street. West Asheville Library, 942 Haywood Road. Again, these centers is every day starting on Thursday, November 17th. The hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tomorrow, the area will experience extremely cold temperatures. Our shelters have space and are available at AB Tech Conference Center. Please use the Victoria Road entrance, and that address is 16 Fernandhurst Drive. The former Gold's Gym, 1815 Hendersonville Road. This location has a playground for kids, so it's a great and suitable location for families. Please note that no kids are allowed at this location. Thank you. Kids are allowed at the Gold's Gym location. It actually has a playground, so it's suitable for families. No pets are allowed at the Gold's Gym location. Medical Emergency Center shelter. This shelter is available for people that need medical equipment that requires power. That shelter is located at 10 Genevieve Circle, and that's on the AB Tech campus. The WNC Ag Center at 1301 Fannin Bridge Road. This is a good option for families with pets. Evelyn Charlie's is open Monday through Friday, 11 to 1. They're located at 23 Hamilton Street in Asheville. They are providing gasoline vouchers, warm winter clothing, and other essential items such as hygiene and cleaning products, menstrual supplies, diapers, and etc. And these are during these hours of 11 till 1. They continue to help our neighbors with rent and mortgage assistance, medical needs, and other essential items. Goodwill is accepting clothing donations and providing vouchers for those in need. Bounty and Soul is also accepting donations of warm clothing and blankets. Financial donations can be made to United Way of Asheville and Buncombe County at www.unitedwayabc, one word, unitedwayabc.org. For Spectrum, update from our Spectrum provider, more than 236,000 North Carolina Spectrum customers lost service at the height of the storm. In North Carolina, Spectrum expects complete restoration to all locations that have power and are safe to access by October 19th. In Buncombe County, 58% of Spectrum customers have seen their service restored, and currently 37,656 customers remain without power. Today, Tuesday, October 15th, FEMA will be at several locations. These include the Black Mountain Ingalls, that's the parking lot, that's 550 NC 9, Pat Square Park at 80 Court Plaza, Weaverville Community Center at 60 Lakeshore Drive, Swannanoa Community Care Station at the Ingalls parking lot, and AC Reynolds High School, 2299 US 70 in Swannanoa. The Buncombe County Health and Human Services Board has waived fees for vaccination of flu, COVID, Tdap, and hepatitis A for adults, as well as environmental health fees for food service plan reviews for existing facilities greater than 500 square feet. Renovations and additions for facility less than 500 square feet, as well as permit fees. All self-collect water samples and well water samples for a variety of chemicals. So basically, they have waived the fees for any vaccines for flu, COVID, Tdap, and hepatitis A for adults. So please, if you need any of those vaccines, you can access the Buncombe County Health Services at 40 Cox Avenue. People impacted by Hurricane Helene can apply to receive a one-time benefit to help buy food through the Disaster Supplemental Nutritional Assistance, often known as DSNAP. To apply, please visit epass.nc.gov. That is epass, EPASS.nc.gov, or call 1-844-453-1117. The North Carolina Attorney General's Office has a hotline to report scams, including disaster repairs, price gouging, and fraud contractors. You can call 877-5-NO-SCAM. That is 877-5-NO-SCAM. That is a toll-free number within North Carolina, or you can file a complaint online. Some tips we want to share with our listeners today is, if a housing inspector claims to represent FEMA, ask the person to show you their identification badge. Federal employees always wear an official government badge to identify themselves. Don't trust anyone that asks you for money. Federal and local disaster workers do not solicit or accept money. FEMA and U.S. Small Business Administration staff never charge applications for disaster assistance, inspections, or help in filling out applications. Always work with a licensed or verified contractors backed by reliable references. Do not pay more than half the cost of repairs in advance, and demand that contractors detail the job to be done with guarantees in writing. If you suspect fraud, call the FEMA Disaster Fraud Hotline at 866-720-5721. That is 866-720-5721. We do have some assistance hotline for our farmers. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services hotline is active. This hotline is to connect farmers with resources that can assist with damage and other agricultural emergencies related to the storm. The toll-free number to access that service is 866-645-9403, 866-645-9403. A live operator is available between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Our county debris collection is beginning today in the Swannanoa area. Remember, we will make multiple passes at debris cleanup, and this is just the start of what will be an incredibly long process. For Wednesday, October 16th, tomorrow, Latesboro will run its normal routes for household trash and recycling at accessible locations in Swannanoa. Latesboro will also have trucks located at the Owen Pool, This is at 117 Stone Drive in Flananoa from 8:30 to 3:30. This is for residents to bring bagged trash who the trucks cannot access. The United States Geological Survey, in partnership with the North Carolina Geological Survey, is in the region, assessing landslide risks, and they are conducting field assessments. They will share their preliminary assessments at our community briefing on Friday. So you will see some people from the U.S. Geological Survey and the North Carolina Geological Survey. They are assessing landslide risks in the region and conducting field assessments. We want to bring that to your attention, as you will see some people in the field looking around at different sites. With that, I'll turn it back to Lillian. Thank you.
Our next guest is Bill Norton with Duke Energy, who will provide an update on the energy restoration in Buncombe County and where we stand. Bill's joining us remotely.
Good morning, Lillian. Is the audio okay?
Sounds great, Bill.
Great. So North Carolina, we're now down to about 5,800 customers in the mountain region without power as of this morning. 3,200 of those are in Buncombe County. So we're making tremendous progress, and we expect those figures to continue falling this week. Our numbers yesterday inched up a bit when our car hit a pole in Asheville, taking out about 1,800 customers, the power to them. So not all of these are storm outages, and that's a good reminder that when you see utility crews out working, please slow down and give them a wide berth, just like you do for the police and other first responders. We can get your power back on faster if we all stay alert and safe. But looking just at hurricane damage, not new situations like that, Duke Energy has now restored power to nearly 1.5 million customer outages from Helene, just in North Carolina. That's separate from our restoration efforts in upstate South Carolina as well. Some customers have even had their power restored on our end, but they're not ready to receive power. If, for example, if you had your meter ripped off the side of your house due to a tree coming down nearby, you need to have your home's internal wiring inspected by an electrician before we can turn your power back on. That's for your safety. So we've got hundreds of homes that are just like that, where we've done everything that we can do, and we're waiting for that inspection to occur. Other reports, we've had customers who've said, their neighbors have received power and they're wondering why theirs is still out. Sometimes when we make a restoration, upstream, if you will, on the line, something downstream that wasn't initially apparent, like a branch leaning on a line, will trigger a new outage. We inspect all the lines for problems just like that, but not everything is immediately visible. So if that happens to you, please re-report your outage on our website, on the Duke Energy app on your phone, by texting OUT to 57801 or calling us at 800-POWER-ON. Outside of Buncombe County, the majority of our remaining outages are in one area that was particularly hard hit, the Spruce Pine area of Mitchell County. Because of the catastrophic damage in that area, Mitchell County still has about a quarter of its customers without power. There were three particularly hard-hit areas of Spruce Pine. Humpback Mountain, I'm glad to say we were able to get helicopters into that area over the weekend, got power back to that area Sunday afternoon. Cane Creek near Roan Mountain, we didn't even think we could get into that area yet, but NCDOT moved heaven and earth to get us into that community. So all materials are now delivered to that site, and we've got crews on the ground restoring power right now. Little Switzerland, another mountain spot where we didn't have road access initially. The National Park Service did a great job managing to get our crews in by clearing a section of the Blue Ridge Parkway. So we helicoptered poles into that site yesterday and are now working on restoration there as well. So that gives you some idea of the challenges we're facing with these last remaining outages. For that group, we've opened a dedicated Western North Carolina operations center to serve as an ongoing base of operations while our workers continue rebuilding the infrastructure needed to restore power. This operations center also facilitates our ongoing collaboration with Buncombe County and other government partners from one central location, helping to make sure that we continue to stay coordinated with local officials and state officials and even national officials as this work moves forward. Most of our remaining outages will be restored by the end of the week. Duke Energy is going to continue communicating with impacted customers via email, text, outbound call, as specific details become available for your individual outage. Summing up, I'd say we greatly appreciate the support, kindness our communities have shown and continue to show toward the men and women who are still working around the clock to rebuild the grid and restore power. We remain fully staffed in Western North Carolina. The Duke Energy crews and our contract crews from out of state will continue working here until power is restored for everyone. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Bill. And we've got an update from Dave Connolly with the U.S. Corps of Engineers.
Okay, thank you, Lillian. Our mission priorities here in the recovery, we are considering recovery day 617 for us. The priorities have not changed. Our strength remains just over 250 civilian, military, and contractors on the ground who are operating not only in Buncombe County, but all of the impacted counties. Our three mission areas, temporary power, debris, infrastructure assessments have not changed. Temporary power, as you just heard, there's some good news stories there. Although we've installed approximately 16 generators, these numbers change frequently. But we are starting to see some deinstalls complete, which is a testament to some of the power is coming back up and there's no more requirement for those temporary generators to be in. The debris mission, we're still performing assessments and providing technical assistance to determine scopes of work. Again, that's for that estimated 10 million cubic yards of debris. And we stand by, and the process is still the same as I talked to you a couple of days ago about. We're waiting for those requests to come up from the counties to the state that would need the assistance of FEMA, who will task us to contribute in that debris removal. But we did do in the last 24, probably 8 or so assessments to continue to scope that work and see what may be required. In the area of infrastructure assessment and wastewater, still just providing those assessments. I talked to you last time about we're now getting from those just drive-by, really rough assessments, now moving into the more detailed assessments. We got about 5 or 6 of those completed now, and we're just standing by as required for additional taskings from FEMA. The main update I wanted to provide you today is on the screen. We understand. Well, first, we at the Army Corps of Engineers Wilmington District, we have several area offices located out across North Carolina. One of them happens to be in Asheville. So our own team was impacted as well. And they are out still doing their job, still doing great works. And we realize that permitting itself sometimes can be complex, not to mention after a storm. So we wanted to share with you there's some guidance that changes during post-storm, which could include instances where there is no permit needed for citizens to repair some damage that may have occurred. So there's also some exemptions that may be out there for work to be done. But the bottom line I wanted you to walk away with is the points of contact. If you have any questions on permitting, we have people standing by to answer these questions. If you go to NC permit-wetlands at usac.army.mil. That's one way to do it. But you see there's 2 phone numbers here. 828-271-7980 is one locally here. And then we have our routine number 252-740-5719. Now these numbers get a large amount of calls on an average day, not to mention a post-hurricane day. So it does take a little bit of time, but the process will be you'll make that call, be very detailed with what the area is, what the issue is, or what the question is. And those experts, those regulatory specialists that are working hard every day, storm or no storm, will triage those to the right specialist in that area that could get you the right information. And that's really all I have. Subject to questions at the end. Thanks, Lily.
Sounds good. And just a reminder, these are not the permits that you would pull if you were looking to do construction on your home. You still need to go to your county's permits office for any sort of home repair permits that are being pulled. Three quick notes before we move to questions. Do want to celebrate the continuation of water service restoration throughout the city. Last night, they were able to get water to downtown Asheville. So the city of Asheville and those crews that are working 24/7 continue to make significant and heroic progress in that restoration of water services. The Buncombe County Board of Commissioners will meet today at 5 p.m. That meeting will be broadcast on our Facebook page for those who want to watch. And so that will be a fully remote Board of Commissioners meeting. And then a request from our local fire chiefs. We know the temperatures are dropping and it is the humidity is also dropping with these cooler temperatures. So it's very dry and very cold, which increases the risk of burning. So please use extreme caution if you are burning. We know that the last thing we want is to add an additional strain on our first responders and impact any of our homes or infrastructure. So please use extreme caution if you are burning any materials. Make sure you're 15 feet away from structures and that you're doing it in 3 to 6 foot piles. And it is managed and supervised at all times. And with that, we will turn to questions from our media. We do have City of Asheville staff who are here, the famous Ben Woody. They are here to answer questions that may come up for them. And we'll turn it over to questions from the media who are on a Zoom line at this time.
Hi, this is Will Atwater with North Carolina Health News. I may have missed this earlier, but can you provide an update on if folks have wells and they need their water tested? What's the process? Are they to bring samples to a location, or does officials come to their site? And then also,
But individuals can collect well testing kits from the permits office to test those wells. The EPA also has well testing community labs that are working in our area, and we'll make sure that link to the EPA mobile testing is included in the press release that goes out in the newsletter to the community at the end of the day.
Lillian.
Hello, John.
Hi, Charles Perez at WLOS. I've got two water-based questions. One is city and the other is schools. The city side, what areas are next? Are they moving like in zones from east towards west, or what can you let us know?
Play is coming up.
Thank you.
Morning, Charles.
Good morning. Thanks for this. Appreciate it.
So yesterday, well, let me back up a little bit. So from the beginning, when we repaired the bypass line at North Fork Treatment Plant in Black Mountain, service was going to be restored moving generally westward. And so far we have gotten to downtown should be pretty much fully pressurized by now. There could be a couple of spots here and there that aren't. And from downtown, service restoration is going to continue moving westward. In fact, the 24-inch main transmission line that carries water to almost every part of West Asheville has been pumping water now for almost 3 hours. That does not mean that every part of West Asheville will have water today. There are tanks to fill. There's going to be some damage on some of the smaller lines that shoot off that main transmission line. But West Asheville will be next in line.
Brittany Peterson with the Associated Press. Is there a way to estimate approximately how many customers do not have water as of today? Just a rough estimate.
As I mentioned in my interview earlier, we don't have the capability to detect service remotely. We're not like electrical utilities. But I think the number I gave a couple of days ago was 100,000. That number has dropped significantly in 48 hours.
Quick follow-up to that question. By West Asheville, would that include Candler and the Yankee areas, or is that separate?
That would include Candler and the Inca areas. Yes.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next half of my question is with regard to water and schools.
And we don't have anyone from the schools here today, Charles, but we can
Can I just
try
put the
to.
question out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, thank you. This has to do with the target start date for Asheville City Schools of the 28th. And so far, no target date for Buncombe County schools. But what if water is restored sooner? Is there a chance that these schools are prepared to get up and running before that date if they've got water school?
Yeah, I don't have any information on that. But we are hoping to have the superintendents come back this week and provide some
Okay.
information. Remember that they have made commitments of this many hours of notifications for families, for staff, and there are
Right.
bigger things in the process to bringing kids back beyond water that also include, roads and accessibility and being
Right.
able to get the full operation going. But we'll let them give us the full details from their end.
Please, and the last part of that is just simply, I understand that Buncombe County schools, a chunk of them have water. If I had a kid at that school, I'd want to know, why couldn't my kid go back to his or her school if it's okay? So I'll just throw that question out to you.
Okay, we will pass it along.
Great, thank you, appreciate it.
Other questions?
This is Andrew Jones with the Asheville Watchdog. Just wondering kind of what the thoughts are as far as now that water is downtown, how soon or how quickly will water be able to get uptown into North Asheville? Is there any estimation on that at this point?
Here comes Clay.
So we started pushing water into North Asheville very early this morning. But again, even though the main transmission line may be in pretty good shape, there's going to be some lines that offshoot of that are damaged. There are tanks to fill in that area. And so it's not, just because water is flowing in that direction, it's not going to be immediate.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions in the chat, Angelica? She says no questions in the chat. Any questions from our reporters who are on the Zoom call?
This is Andrew again. I just wondered what the loss of life toll is at right now and when there's potentially another update for that. Sorry if I missed it.
Right. So just want to make sure the loss of life that is managed through the state office of the medical examiner. And so every single death, that's related to not just the hurricane, but anytime is a tragedy. And so one of the top priorities is to ensure that any person who has died in the storm and their family get that dignity and respect they deserve in this process. And so only emergency responders tasked with supporting fatality management after the storm are qualified to respond to that. So Office of State Medical Examiner would be the short answer to that one, Andrew.
Thanks, Lillian. I appreciate it.
Hey, Lillian, I have a couple questions. It's Kim. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. First is a water question. I'm getting a lot of reports that the water looks really good. And so with that in mind, I know you're still stressing for people to boil water, but what does that say exactly about the silt concerns? And is there a potential that the water might be in better shape in the coming day or three, where potentially it could be potable? That's question one. Thank you.
So, yeah, the way the sediment's going to work in the water is the more the system is flushed in homes and businesses and generally throughout the distribution areas, that's going to dissipate. It's not going to disappear, but it is going to dissipate. And that's why we're telling people, when you get water back, after you turn off your water heater and your ice maker and your toilets and stuff like that, the first thing you need to do is to flush your home's plumbing or your business's plumbing. And the best way to do that is with a bathtub faucet or an outdoor faucet, and do that for 10 to 15 minutes until that water clears up. but yeah, we are seeing the water clear up a little bit. Just because it clears up does not mean, the potable part is going to come any quicker. We still have tons of testing to do. We still have to do the in-reservoir treatment at North Fork, which we hope to start doing maybe Thursday. Materials and personnel are going to hit the ground out there tomorrow. And so, yeah, we're closer to potable water, but that's still going to be a little bit of a long process before that boil water notice is lifted.
Okay, thank you. I have another on a different topic question. Thank you for the water answer. Avril talked about 3 different sites for shelters. AB Tech, the former Gold's Gym on the south side, and a medical emergency center at AB Tech, and then the Ag Center, I guess 4 places. What's your sense right now, anyone with the county, of do you expect those to be at capacity? What is the concern for people that have been displaced, and what do the numbers look like?
Right now, we have capacity at every single one of those shelters. So anyone who needs support, especially as we're seeing temperatures dip, we absolutely have capacity at each of those shelters. I can email you specific numbers if you want later, Kim, but the short answer is there is capacity at every single one of those 4 shelters. Don't be afraid to come and ask us for support. Let's keep you and your family safe.
Do you expect to open any additional ones if you're at capacity now? And what do the numbers look like when you say that?
We're not at capacity. We've got lots of capacity. So
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's time. And especially as more folks are getting water and power at their homes, the great news that we've heard from both the city and from Bill with Duke, people are getting water and power at their homes. And that really is a wonderful thing as we head into these colder temperatures. We're able to help our neighbors out a little bit more, aren't we? Any other questions?
Are there any other concerns with the U.S. Geological Survey folks? Is there any issue that you want to give to the public as far as, is there concern in any certain areas, or is this just kind of just making sure everything is stable?
Just making sure everything's stable. Like we said, they are going to be here on our Friday briefing to provide that information. They've been doing a lot of detailed research and aerial views and all of the science. And so they will be here on Friday to talk about their findings. Sounds like
We have
we've
a
got one in the
question.
question and one in the chat.
Yeah, Helen Chickering from BPR wants us to do a quick review of the comfort stations providing laundry and showers. And do we have any plans to open new ones?
I had to refer to my sheets of paper that I left. So a new community care station is open, 980 Brevard Road. That's the old Kmart, right? So it's the new at-home store facility. And so that location is up and running now. We also have one at the Swannanoa Ingalls, AC Reynolds High School, and Morgan Hill Baptist Church at 594 Barnardsville Highway. We're talking cell towers, Wi-Fi, laundry, bathrooms, counseling, potable water, non-potable water, hot meals from 11 to 4-ish. It changes a little bit site by site, but all of that is available at those comfort care stations. Yes, the city is working on bringing more online, but those are the 4 that are available right now, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for anyone to access those resources.
We also have a question in the chat about, we got a Spectrum update today. That's good. But have we heard any updates from other carriers like AT&T?
We don't have any update from AT&T or Verizon at this time.
I know we don't have a FEMA rep here today, but off the top of your head, do you know how many FEMA applications have been started or accepted here in the county?
60,000 started, and I can confirm I started my application yesterday at my house. So 60,000.
Hi, I'm Patricia Serrano from Enlace Latino and C. I would like to ask a question about I was like reporting and talking with some like workers, Latino workers that are here in the city and they are from other parts of the country, like really far away. Some, the majority probably are undocumented workers. I would like to know what information have the county about that. If they have some numbers and they are here in what situation, yeah, what we know about that.
Right. I think some of the folks who I was talking to, they were working for some contractors that were working in the debris space. And so, we don't have any sort of information when we work with contractors about who their employees are. But we do know that there are a number of contracted employees who are coming to support across the spectrum as we work to rebuild and recover after this storm.
Yes, thanks. But still wondering about if there is some control about the condition of these workers. They are really like, in what condition they are living, in what condition they are like here working. I trying to talk spoke with some of them, and the contractor say that he's paying the salary, so we cannot talk with them. And some like situations like that are happening now. And I would like to know if the county can take a look.
So one
at
of
that.
Yeah, a great resource. If anyone has any concerns about working conditions, going through the state attorney general's office is going to be the right place to make that report. That phone number is 877-5-NO-SCAM. And I don't know what that number is if it's not spelled out, because it's been a long time since I've looked at a phone like that. But the phone number is 877-5-NO-SCAM. The North Carolina Attorney General's office is 100% the right place for anyone to report any concerns in that space.
Okay. And do you know how many contractors from outside Buncombe County are here now?
That would be a hard number for us to pull, Patricia, because we have contractors that are working with the county, the city, the space within the county, and also private businesses that are also doing their own remediation. So that would be a really difficult number for us to try to pull, but one that we will be tracking in each of our respective agencies down the line to report out. But I wouldn't be able to provide anything today that would be accurate.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm noticing another question on social media for Clay. This is about water service that may have come on in the last couple of days and now has come off, specifically in the Haw Creek area. Can you address how that same scenario might play out in other areas as water service returns? Can people expect that same kind of behavior in the water, and why?
Sure. So specific to Haw Creek, we had to replace a pretty good chunk of service line. Again, one that shoots off the main transmission pipe. I think that work is being done today, started maybe yesterday-ish. But yeah, generally speaking, as service returns, there is the chance that it could be sort of intermittent for the first little while. Start, stop, pressure could reduce. Even though you have service, your pressure is lower. And that's just a function of water flowing through those pipes for the first time in a couple of weeks. And us being able to find damage that's only visible when water's actually going through those pipes. And those repairs can take a little time. And it's generally also a function of a system ramping up production after being down for a little while. Normal, to be expected.
Looks like we have nothing else in the chat. Last call for our reporters who are on the line. We'll be back again tomorrow with a full update from City of Asheville for their regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday update, as well as some other community partners. And so we will look forward to seeing y'all on Wednesday, October 16th, 11 a.m. right back here for the next Buncombe County community briefing. Thank you all for tuning in. See you tomorrow.